We have some breaking news for you. A decades-long mystery has finally come to an end today, and that's because the man accused of being the Gilgo Beach serial killer and murdering these 7 women has changed his plea from innocent to guilty. It is a major reversal in a case that's gripped not only Long Island, but the nation. CBS News correspondent Tom Hanson is live outside the courtroom with the very latest for us. Tom, good to see you today. I want you to talk to us about what just went down in that courtroom.
Hey there, Mugo. Well, for all of the buildup that we've been and all the anticipation that we've been waiting on in this case, the proceedings were actually very matter of fact, very quick here. Rex Heuermann was walked in. He was in handcuffs. He was in a suit, a polka dot tie. He was released from his handcuffs in order to sign paperwork saying that he was pleading guilty. The judge going through counts 1 to 3 and then counts 7 to 10 in this case. Those first 3 counts were first-degree murder for Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, Amber Costello, and the second-degree murder charges, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Jessica Taylor, Valerie Mack, Sandra Castilla. Now, also, what was revealed in court today, an extra person who he admitted to murdering without actually facing charges of murder. That woman is named Karen Vergata. So basically, the judge went down and asked him how these people were murdered. He said that they were all murdered by a strangulation, that they were dismembered, and then that their bodies were disposed of, or at least parts of their bodies were disposed of in and around the Gilgo Beach area. So obviously a long-awaited resolution, at least in some part, for a lot of the families. There were audible gasps in the courtroom itself, some emotional responses there. I can't overstate how emotionless Heuermann appeared in court today. And really the central question is, why now? Well, he's been held up in solitary confinement. We don't have any sort of reason as to why today he decided to plead guilty. But I also want to note that, while there is a semblance of closure for some of the families and friends of the victims, a lot of people wanted to see this go to trial to understand the full scope of what these women went through when they were murdered. Other family members, other friends of victims found it far too painful to hear testimony. So mixed reactions from the people who were able to witness this today, but a long-awaited day for this case that has extended across decades, has evaded police in so many ways. We are still waiting for those answers. I also want to point out, Mugo, one other note. We are looking at a separate lawsuit against the family member of Heuermann, and this is basically alleging that his wife and his daughter couldn't have possibly been unaware that this was happening in the home. That is something we're also following. That was filed by the son of one of the victims, Valerie Mack. Her son is named Benjamin Torres. And essentially he is saying that he was robbed of his childhood because he lost his mom when he was 6 years old. He also points to a documentary that was filmed where Peacock, the production, the company that was commissioning the production, they were paying for access to the actual Heuermann home. He is saying in this court case that money should not go to the family of Rex Heuermann. It should actually go to the family members of the victim. So we're following that separate thread here, but once again, a very, very big day in this case. Heuermann was expected to have his trial in front of a jury in September. That is no longer going to happen after he pleaded guilty to 7 separate counts today and admitted to the murder of an 8th woman, which we just learned in court moments ago, Mugo.
Yeah, and Tom, I know you can't read anyone's minds, but we're going to hear likely from Heuermann's lawyer and also from his wife. Any insight into how they could react? I know when this case first came out and he was arrested, his wife had said she didn't believe that he was guilty. So any insight into how she's going to respond if she does in fact speak today?
Well, it speaks to what the prosecution was saying, was that essentially Heuermann was leading a double life. By day, the successful architect in Manhattan, and by night, so to speak, a murderous serial killer. And so, yeah, we can expect that the family is understandably stunned about some of the revelations here. But we also don't know the full scope because we are not going to hear that testimony, potentially witness testimony, things like that could give us more details as to how sadistic this individual was. But, you know, broad strokes, the family saying that in some part they are victims of his decisions as well. Obviously, that does not compare to the victims, the family of the victims who were murdered, but that is what they are saying today, Mugo. We will await their comments in front of the press in just a few moments.
Yeah, definitely no comparison there. Tom Hanson, thank you so much for your reporting today. We appreciate it.